PlayStation just announced the price of PlayStation VR 2 and the release date, which will be February the 22nd, and the date at which pre-orders will take place, which is November the 15th this month. So I thought in this video I'd talk a little bit about PlayStation VR 2 and what my thoughts are as a somewhat jaded VR enthusiast. So first things first, the price of the PlayStation VR 2 headset, I think $550. It was probably going to be like £550 in the UK because they always do that. I don't know why. It should be cheaper really, but it's not a bad price for the headset. The headset has eye tracking, 4K HDR display, some haptic stuff going on with the headset in terms of vibration and stuff, and then you've got the two PlayStation controllers that have the haptic motors in them. So it's all pretty advanced stuff, high quality VR equipment, and relative for the price of $550, really good bang for the buck as far as headsets go. If this headset was going to release on PC as a standalone PC headset, for example, everybody would be chomping at the bit to buy it. Well, I certainly would. If it was a PC headset, I'd be ordering it immediately as a PC headset. Therein lies the problem really. It's a headset just for the PS5. Now, obviously, if you're a console gamer with a PS5, that ain't no problem, is it? You'd probably be like, oh, I've got a PS5. VR seems interesting. Great, I'll go and get that headset as an additional thing for my PlayStation. But I then have to wonder, are PlayStation 5 users in general that enthusiastic for VR in that they would go and buy an additional VR headset for the PlayStation? I mean, if you look at the promo video that came out for the PlayStation VR 2, they have tied in a lot of the popular IPs with VR versions of those IPs, so maybe that's enough to appeal to your sort of average PlayStation 5 owner to go, okay, yeah, I'm going to try out the VR and give it a go. PSVR 1 was quite popular as well, but I kind of think maybe your average PlayStation 5 owner might not really be the actual real demographic for VR, especially when you consider you've got headsets like the Oculus Quest, for example, where if you're looking at all the VR stuff and had your interest piqued by VR, you would have probably go in the Quest direction where you're spending less than £500 and you've got the headset and the headset's got everything in it, and as a result you've got less cables and it's all ready to go and it's a mobile device effectively. It's all very simple. VR enthusiasts would already pretty much either have a Quest or they would be the hardcore super duper VR enthusiast and the type of VR mental person that I am, that would have got into VR earlier or has a high-end PC and wants to use VR for driving flight simulators or, you know, like the really high quality VR experiences like Half-Life Alyx and that kind of stuff. So PlayStation VR 2 kind of fits in a weird place in my mind. And the real shame, I think, is that, as I say, if PlayStation VR 2 also had PC support, it would literally be the biggest VR headset hardware announcement for the last couple of years. It would be absolutely huge. The fact that you would be able to draw in people that not only have the PlayStation, then those console users, new users, and people that maybe already have PSVR 1, but you would also, a lot of the hardcore PC users, I think, would be like, oh right, we're getting this headset as well, and it would be a really nice, I think, competition for where the Quest is. So you'd have a competition between sort of high quality hardcore VR and high detail VR that only a PlayStation 5 or a high-end PC could deliver with a PlayStation VR headset, or you'd have the sort of Quest VR, which there's some really good quality Quest games, but they just the power of an Oculus Quest 2 isn't enough to deliver the same degree of fidelity that you could get from what it looks like the PSVR 2 headset will do, and what you could already get with stuff like the Valve Index and some of the other high-end PC headsets. So it's a really weird thing, this PlayStation VR 2 headset. I mean, it looks really good. It's just such a shame. It's the whole console thing. It's like closed ecosystems for hardware. It's like, who wins? Not the consumer. It's such a shame. Now, I've got a PS5. I actually bought a PS5 so I could get PlayStation VR when it comes out. The headset does still look really good, and I think even with it just being a PlayStation headset, putting aside my problems with that, actually looks like a really awesome device. And I will say, I think one of the biggest things that's been holding back high-end VR on PC is that you literally have like 5 good games, like actually really good games. There's like 5 of them, separate to simulators. Like if you're a driving simulator fan or a flight sim fan, you're sorted on PC because you can play driving sims forever, you can play flight sims forever, and they're just unbelievable in VR. But if you're more into you want to do sort of single player, story driven, immersive games, like more sort of Half-Life Alyx-y type stuff, well then on the PC side you really let down quite a lot. So such a shame that this is locked to the PlayStation, but I'm really looking forward to seeing if the PlayStation VR 2 titles are actually very good, high quality VR games. And maybe it's possible that if they are, and maybe if the PlayStation VR 2 actually sells well, as I say, PSVR 1 actually sold quite well. I think it really did surprise Sony how well it sold. I think if that does really well and you've got those games on the PlayStation, then maybe those games will also come out on PC, and obviously they won't work. You wouldn't be using the PlayStation VR headset to play them on PC, but at least it means you've potentially got more high quality VR titles for PC users to play. VR is just so weird, guys. Like the way it's gone. Obviously, if you know my channel, you know what I've been doing for a long time. I've been following VR from the original Oculus DK1. In fact, I've been following VR since virtuality in the 90s. Like, I've been into VR for so long, and it's been really fascinating how it's done these kind of like, oh, in the 90s, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be amazing. Oh, no one cares, it's terrible. Oh, DK1 VR is amazing. Oh, look at it, all these experimental games, it's gonna be amazing. Look at all this stuff. Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And oh no, it's kind of flopped again. But VR is like a zombie. It keeps like rising from the dead. Someone shoots it in the face, you think it's dead, and then it comes back again. And everybody likes zombies at the end of the day. So I think that's what VR's like, the VR zombie analogy. It's really fascinating to see what will happen with stuff either way. As a VR enthusiast, hopefully VR will get to a state where there's enough players there's enough interest in the hardware, the costs keep reducing, the hardware keeps improving, and it gets to a state where your average developer can make a VR title, or even a AAA developer can make a VR title and be quite likely to make a return on it. And it'll be a healthy VR space. Hopefully that happens before I die of old age. Probably won't. Oh, hopefully it happens before Mark Zuckerberg turns VR to some weird advertising, face tracking, mental solution. Who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, really interesting to see what happens with PlayStation VR 2. I thought you guys might be interested on my musings on this topic. I wonder how disappointed you guys are that it doesn't seem that they're going to do any PC support with it. That would have been so good. It would have been so good. But oh well, that's life. Till the next video, guys, thanks very much for watching this one. Happy tea drinking. Take care. Goodbye.